It was only a few days ago, like literally just a few videos ago, that I was talking about how Epic Games is a complete sickness on modern gaming. And the big evidence that I was using there was Kingdom Hearts on Steam. Kingdom Hearts was ported to PC years and years ago, but it was exclusive to the Epic Store until very recently when it was ported to Steam. And after it was ported to Steam, it absolutely exploded in popularity and sales to the point that it became completely unignorable that Epic Games is just a complete detriment to every game that it touches, unless your game is called Fortnite. But even then, you can't tell me with a straight face that Fortnite wouldn't be making even more V-Bucks than it is right now if it was on Steam, but that's a different topic. But one of the other games that Epic has completely butchered with their insistence on control is Alan Wake 2, which was released last year, developed by Remedy Entertainment, and published by Epic Games Publishing. And they were so proud of it, in fact, that they seemingly did everything they could to not turn a profit on this thing. So Remedy just had an earnings call where they revealed some numbers about all of the projects they have in the works. They revealed some updates on the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes, which I'm actually kind of excited for. Shared some production updates on Control 2, which I could not give less of a shit about, but maybe I'll play Control someday. I don't know. It just never really seemed like my thing, but then the more I hear about it, the more people tell me that it might actually be my kind of thing. So maybe I'll give it a shot once I clear up the backlog a little bit more. I'm currently knee-deep in Sekiro and Dark Souls 1 at the same time. Yes, I'm playing Dark Souls 1 for the second time this year. Don't at me. I fucking love Dark Souls 1. I'm having a great time just running around beating people with a giant stick that does like 180 damage because I've just been wandering around farming souls mindlessly for like 12 hours this run. I find that fun. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you. But the reason Remedy's earnings call started getting some attention online was because they also revealed some numbers about Alan Wake 2. And if you thought the damage Epic Games did to Kingdom Hearts was bad, just wait till you hear this shit about what they've done to Alan Wake 2. So Alan Wake 2 was the fastest selling Remedy game to date. It was one of the most critically acclaimed games of the year, and it reportedly had a $50 million budget, which is relatively low in the modern gaming industry, especially for a game that looks that good. $50 million for a game of this size and stature is a pretty reasonable budget. With the amount of media attention that this game got, it should have been able to recoup that $50 million rather quickly. But that's where Epic Games comes in, my friends, because Epic Games pulled some pretty naughty shenanigans with the actual publishing of this game. Remember, Remedy Entertainment made this game, Epic Games published this game, and all of the reasons why this game is not making more money than it is are Epic's fault and only Epic's fault. But let's just explain this here. So according to Remedy themselves, Alan Wake 2 has recouped most of its development and marketing expenses, meaning this game has not turned a profit yet, despite being on a $50 million budget and being one of the most talked about games of the entire year. It still has not recouped its budget. Now, why is that? Well, because Epic Games not only insisted on this game not being on Steam, and as we all know by now, PC gamers just do not support the Epic Games Store for PC games. They simply do not. Epic Games themselves have confirmed this in their own financial reports, where they just openly talk about the fact that like only 30% or something, like only a third of the store's revenue actually comes from games that aren't Fortnite. We saw it just the other day when the news came out about Kingdom Hearts being the third best-selling game in the entire country in June, all because it was ported to Steam. So not only did Epic insist on not putting the PC version of the game on Steam, but they also insisted on no physical boxed console release, which obviously physical console games aren't nearly as big or as profitable as they once were, but there's still a huge market for them. There are still a lot of sales that can be made off of people just walking through Walmart, walking through Target, seeing the game on the shelf and being like, you know what, I'll give that game a try. I've heard people talking about that. I'll pick it up while I'm here. I got some money to spend and I'm walking through the video game aisle. There's that game I've been hearing about. I'll pick that one up. There is still a lot of value in that, but Epic Games chose not to capitalize on that market for some reason. So we've got a console game that was digital only. We've got a PC game that was only released on one storefront, and it's by far the least popular storefront, the one that the least number of people want to give money to. And now here we are, despite all the media attention, despite all of the praise, all of the awards, Alan Wake 2 has not recouped its development and marketing expenses. And I think this exchange in the thread where the news was broken is good, and it kind of illuminates an additional reason for this. Oliver Darko says, Alan Wake 2 has top-notch graphics, a ridiculous moderate budget of $50 million, several Game of the Year awards, and more than 8 months after launch, it still hasn't recouped its development cost. This destroys the naive narrative that quality and low budget guarantees success. But this is the interesting part, because Morrow says, it depends on what the agreed conditions for royalties are with publisher Epic Games. It also doesn't help that it's a digital-only and Epic Games Store-only release for now. It's not that often that a major release recoups all the costs within a year of its release, TBH. But I want to focus on that first point. Not only did Epic make sure this game was only available on their PC platform, and not only did Epic drop the ball by not publishing a physical version, but they're also definitely getting royalties from the game sales that are being made. So not only did they completely sink this game's chances for financial success, but they're also taking money from what revenue is being made. And we don't know what the agreement was. We don't know what percentage of the revenue Epic Games is actually taking. I don't find it hard to believe at all that this game has actually generated more than $50 million worth of revenue. I don't find that difficult to believe at any capacity. But what percentage of $50 million goes to Remedy to recoup their development costs, and what percentage goes to Epic for the gracious, wonderful task of publishing the game in the worst way imaginable? All of the reasons why this game was not more financially successful, all of the reasons for that fall on Epic. And yet, they are still taking a big chunk of the revenue because they published the game. Sure, they published it shittily, but they still published it because Epic doesn't give a shit about anyone but themselves. They are completely willing to sink the success and reputation of other companies as long as they get to add one more game to their Epic Games Store exclusives list. They literally do not care about anything more than just juicing their user numbers. That's why they do these third-party sales deals. They literally don't give a shit how big or small the numbers are. They just want the numbers to be theirs. They don't care if Remedy created, with no help from Epic, one of the most acclaimed games of the entire year, one of the most awarded games of the entire year. None of the creative or artistic decisions were theirs. And yet, here they are single-handedly sinking the game's financial success. Here they are ensuring that the actual developers of the game still have not turned a profit off of their work. And here they are confirming yet again to everyone with eyeballs and a room temperature IQ that Epic Games is the single worst company in AAA gaming. They will tear down absolutely anyone if it means their margins move by the slightest fraction of a percentage upwards, be it active users or just number of exclusive games. They literally don't care about anything else. They will pay the most exorbitant amounts of money just to tick those boxes on their own storefront and to their own C-suite. They don't care how much money they're missing out on. They don't care how much of a potential audience is just being erased for these companies that have nothing to do with them. How many more people would have played Alan Wake 2 if there was a physical release or if it was on Steam? And the same goes for other games that Epic has completely dropped the ball on. How many more PC players would have played Borderlands 3 at launch? How many more PC players would have played Dead Island 2 at launch? Epic Games is an absolute sickness to modern gaming. They need to be weeded out of this industry. I said in the last video that I want them to improve. No. This company either needs to be completely restructured from the top down with completely new leadership in every single leadership role, or it just needs to close. The fact that Epic Games continues to operate basically without consequence just because they have a whole bunch of V-Buck money is so frustrating. All of the problems with modern gaming that Epic Games has pushed on us, it all stems from fucking Fortnite. Think about that for a second. If Epic Games didn't generate so many fucking V-Bucks every fucking day, they wouldn't be able to afford to ruin other people's creations. But there are V-Bucks coming in, so they can. It is so frustrating, and this company needs to get out of gaming. Straight up. Be an engine maker, host Unreal Engine, and do nothing else. Get out. Sell Fortnite to a company that actually makes games, delete the Epic Games Store from the internet, and just keep working on the Unreal Engine and do nothing else. You provide literally nothing of value other than the Unreal Engine. Please get out of the industry. Toodles.